Okie dokie. Actually, no, I don't need to be in the voice channel. Alright. So, just trying to think about how I want to make these videos. So probably just gonna like do the movement first and then talk about it after. It's probably the way to go. So this is movement for Diglett's Cave plus Viridian Forest, etc. Now usually you will have a super rappel up for this section. So basically this is the optimal movement. Oh, you don't bonk there. Well, alright, guess I have to do this again. Also collect that item. Alright, let's do that again. I'm not bonking in a movement guide, lol. Alright. So, assuming Snorlax is here, you would repel, poke a gear in front of it. Oh, fucking wrecked that, didn't I? Alright, let's try again. No bonking allowed. Alright, take 3. So repel in front of the Snorlax. That repel will get you all the way through the grass around the rotator. Don't bonk there. Well. Alright, let's do it without bonking twice, lol. Alright, so take 4. Repel in front of the Snorlax. Usually you'd go to the Pokegear there. rappel timing will get you all the way through the grass on the second pass. That rappel will wear off in a slightly different spot depending on the steps the old man takes, where he walks towards you or away from you. Now it doesn't matter what direction you speak to blue from. Assuming blue is there, obviously. Now you want to get onto Cinnabar on the earliest possible tile to maximise your biking steps. And that is it. That is optimal movement from Diglett's cave to Blaine, basically. So what I'm going to do now is explain the reasoning behind the movement. So when we enter the tunnel here, you want to take a step forward so you don't get a turn frame. So if we enter here and turn instantly right, we lose 8 frames by turning on the spot here. If we take a step forward and then turn, we don't get a turn frame. So it's 8 frames faster to go up like that. Same again in this room, we take a step up to kill the turn frame, and then we move left straight away. So the starting movement is like that, so we don't get any turn frames in these rooms. This room, you're always facing up going to this ladder. There's no way to kill a turn frame. So go this way. The rest of this movement is pretty straightforward. Basically leaving this house. You can either be on this tile or this tile, doesn't matter. Either way, I'll show you the tile above. Either way, spinner will be easy enough to pass straight away. Now, this movement, if you're doing Brock right now, speak to this trainer from this direction. So go up a tile, speak to him from this direction, and then go up above the mark, and it saves the most steps. Always the most efficient stepwise. And again, your rappel is always going to last past this trainer on the way back. So you just pass straight above him like that. You can go 2 tiles above him. I believe you can go 2 tiles left with a rappel on. Let me just test that theory. So it's a bit forgiving, so you can go like this and you still pass him. So pretty, it's not that tight. Not sure about 3 tiles obviously, but that's the general gist of that movement pretty much. So that is Diglett's Cave movement. Let's go and do 29. 29 is actually more relevant than you would think because you get encounters on the first pass. Because you don't have a rappel, it's actually relevant what path you take. on Route 29. So I'm going to repel and just show you the basic movement and then talk through why this is optimal and explain the reasoning behind the path you take. So let's repel and just assume we're coming straight out of the lab here. So go down here, like that. Minimize steps in the grass by going this way. You don't actually do that movement. Do you? Because you have no repel up. Anyway, everyone knows this section's pretty straightforward. Let us do that again one more time. Okay, so 29 movement. So I'll talk it through from coming out the lab here. So 29 movement is relevant because you get encounters. There's a certain path that you can take that will minimize losing turn frames when you get encounters on specific tiles. It basically avoids walking, and so you end up facing a surface. So like, let's, for example, if I move down like this here, and I get an encounter on this tile, then I will get a turn frame when I start moving directly left after an encounter. Whereas if you move down here, and if you get an encounter on this tile or this tile, if you get an encounter here, you can go down and left. You can get an encounter here, you just keep going left. Again, while we... so if we go this way, we don't go down early first, because then if on any of these tiles we get an encounter, we're facing down and we get a turn frame, which is another chance for an encounter, basically, and loses 8 frames, which you obviously want to avoid if you can. So by going this way, if we get an encounter on this tile, because we can still eliminate the turn frame by walking that way, even though it's extra steps in the grass, you cannot get an encounter on these 2 tiles, so it doesn't matter, right? So the path we take in the grass on 29 is that. It eliminates any turn frame, any additional turn frames after you get encounters. All you have to do basically on 29 is remember what direction you're facing when you get an encounter. That's the most important thing. So just, even if you say it to yourself when you get an encounter, what direction you're facing, that will help you remember what way to walk after to get no turn frame. So this section, again, there's no way, you have to go up to the top tile. So if you get an encounter on this this tile, there's no real way to avoid it. You're going to have to be facing up at some point to get onto this plane, basically. So there's not really any movement you can do to avoid that. Pick that item up. Again, same concept here. We go down and left here. So when you're biking here, like that is the movement, because if you get an encounter here, you can still get to this area without an encounter on these 2 tiles, and you don't lose a turn frame. Again, if you get an encounter here, you can go down and get here without an encounter as well. Now, again, you need to get onto this plane. You can either go like this or like this. Either way, you can get an encounter on the tile you're facing down. So there's no real way to avoid that. If you can, it's better to do this, because if you get an encounter on the first tile, then you can go forward and left, and you avoid the potential for an encounter on the tile you're facing down, right? So if you, this is the movement you want to be doing. Let me repeat this. Okay, so we're coming from this item, we're going left, go down like this, and you don't go onto the second row there. So from here, that's not it either. I'll get it right eventually. That is the movement you want to be doing through that section. It's the most optimal in terms of turn frames. And very last section of 29 is pretty straightforward. It's just turning left on this tile. Unless you get an encounter on this tile. For this exact reason, obviously. Usually, if you don't get an encounter, you just turn. Okay, I should probably put a repel on. So this is the movement. If you get an encounter on this tile, you go down one and then leave. So that's the basics of 29 movement. I'll run through it again one more time. Alright, so 29 movement. That's it. That's 29 movement right there. Let's move on to 30. We may as well. Very similar concept. Maybe arrival 1 first. Okay. 30. Obviously we went to the grass from the top tile here. One less tile of grass we have to walk through. Very, very simple. After entering this room, again, it's this movement takes the least amount of steps in the grass. We grab this item, faster to grab this here than it is to get it later. By one tile, I believe. So from here, we go straight up. There's no way to eliminate the turn frame. And this is the section where the movement gets a little bit specific. Basically, you want to take these 3 tiles, right? Going through this grass. So, no, not like that. So that's the movement through there. This is really the only bit that's specific. Because if you get an encounter on this tile, you can go out, no turn frames, 2 tiles of grass. You get an encounter going up on this tile, 2 tiles of grass, no turn frame. And again, if you get an encounter on that tile, you're already facing left anyway, doesn't matter. So that is your 30 movement going up, 30 movement going down. Very similar. Again, we just go like that. Those 3 tiles. You get an encounter facing this way, 2 tiles you're out. Encounter facing this way, 2 tiles you're out. And obviously, if 1 tile, you're already facing that direction. And that is Route 30 movement, pretty basic, the rest of it. $31, get the item. If you want to minimize your tiles in the grass, you just take that 1 tile there. And that's your basics for the early game movement. Let us do a Whirl Islands. I need a Whirlpool Slave. Hello, Shocky. Actually, I could teach you to me too. Okay, so let's just imagine you have just flown to here. I need more repels. Let's just go get some more repels first. Let's teach some names. Alright, so you're flying here. Optimal pathing to... Let's imagine that you're rappelling on this tile. Take one step up before you turn, obviously you're killing the turn frame. And then it's basically just straight right all the way. Now, I'm not going to be doing anything in the dark, obviously. I'm doing all this with flash. Because logically, you should not have to do this without flash. It's going to be a lot faster if you did have it. So, optimal movement in Whirl Islands. I'm going to run through it first. And then we can talk through why it is optimal. So, this is the movement you want to be doing in the Whirl Islands. Okay, so moving up here, kill a turn frame. Don't do that. Alright, let's just reset that. Okay, so Whirl Islands movement, we've got to rappel up. So we delay these two items. Two ways you can do movement in this bottom room, and they're both the same. That is your Whirl Island movement. So now what I'll do is we're going to walk through why we do that and why we take those specific tiles. So start is pretty simple. Walk on the bottom here. Saves a step over going up to the top. Two steps slower to go over the top of that item. So we collect it from the bottom. We take a step up to kill the turn frame because we've now become stationary, so we need to take a step in the same direction to kill turn frame. Going into the steps from that side, straight down, skip this item and that item until after. It is no slower to get this item first or on the way back, so we just do it now. So you're going to need to repel at some point. So this movement, you can either get the item from the bottom and go up like that. That way you keep going up, you don't get a turn frame on this floor. Or after getting this item, you can do this. Collect this item without bonking, enter the ladder from the left, but then you get a turn frame here. So effectively the movement is exactly the same time-wise either way. You avoid the bonk here, but you get a turn frame here, and bonk equals turn frame in terms of frames lost. Bike the way back. Collect this item on the way down. And we collect this item. So the reason this is optimal is basically, if you do this item first, you have to do this section twice. So that's what? 10 extra steps on the bike to do the item first. Same with this item. If you get this item first, bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got, what are we looking at? 12 extra steps there to go back and forth. So about 22 tiles faster this way. And this way we can go straight down after collecting this item. On this left tile, we just go straight down and we collect this item from above, right? That way we can keep going straight and we don't get keep going straight down. We don't get a turn frame after collecting that item. We want to turn left straight away here and enter this ladder from above. That way, first tile on this floor, we move down and right, no turn frame there. Obviously collecting this item from the only possible tile, we go down, either down or right, you're going to get a turn frame, but the reason we go down is to enter the ladder from that side, meaning we can continue going right, no turn frame. Whereas if you collect this item and enter the ladder from the top, get a turn frame on this floor, lose 8 frames. So the reason we grab this item, go down and right, continue going right, so you don't get a turn frame. And that is the theory behind Meme Islands movement. I'm not going to do Ligier's room, that's pretty basic. Alright, what have we got next? Rock tunnel movement. Let's do that. Okay, I'm just going to run off my repel quickly. Alright. Okay, so let's just repel, flash. Alright, so again I'm going to go through a tunnel, do the optimal movement, and then I'll talk it through after for anyone that wants to know why that's the optimal movement. So we go straight up. Doesn't matter which item you get first here, it's exactly the same. So we can get this one first, and then get this one, or we can do it the other way around. Doesn't matter. Okay, so down, collect this item from the top. Oh, you do not bonk into the item. We enter this ladder from this side, so we can take the first step facing down on this floor so we don't get a turn frame. And that's rock tunnel. Again, I'll do it in one smooth go this time. Get this item first, just because why not? Rock tunnel. Pretty straightforward. Really, it's just that second room. Making sure you're not taking any unnecessary bonks on items, and that you're entering the ladder from the correct direction to not get a turn frame. Pretty simple. What else we got? Mount Mortar, we can do. So. Let's do all of Mount Mortar. About what waterfall? So Mount Mortar basement. Let's do the movement and I'll explain it. Is Mortar basement. Let's redo it and I will explain what there is to explain. There's not much, this stuff's pretty simple. Only way you can enter the ladder is from the bottom, so you're going to get a turn from this floor, that's fine. Back here, take as fewer steps in the water as possible, so we enter the ground on this tile. We take a step right first to kill the turn frame. We talk to the item ball from the bottom, so we don't bonk into it. And then get on the top tile of water possible. This is pretty straightforward. Again, try and bike as many steps as possible and because biking is faster than surfing. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. Again, same concept again. Bike as many tiles as possible. Now, here, doesn't matter what tile you get on, right? Either here, you keep going forward, you don't get a turn frame, or you enter on this tile, you get a turn frame and you go down. The difference between biking and surfing movement is the difference is a turn frame, so both movements are exactly the same. Time-wise, same concept again here. You can enter on either tile, and as long as you don't bonk anything, it's still the same. So I find it's less likely to make a mistake if you get on this tile, because then you can't accidentally bonk into this rock, basically. Or hold left too far and bonk into here. So it's just really makes it life easier by getting under this tile. You just go straight up. No risk of bonking. We'll do the waterfall movement now. So we go right up the waterfall. Get on the bike. Okay, so we get into the water on this tile. Again, same concept as before. Just eliminates the risk of accidentally bonking. Movement is exactly the same. Maximizing biking steps. Same concept again. Again, we want to spend as little time as possible in the water. No way to avoid bonking on that item. Back to the top tile here. Fewer steps as possible in the water. Get up on this tile. No way to eliminate a turn frame on that ladder. You're never going to be facing down going to this floor. including the strength items and this, because we may as well. And that is Mount Mortar movement. Very straightforward, really. Not much you can really optimize up here. Alrighty. What have we got left to do? Tin Tower. Can walk through that, I guess. Is there much really to talk about in Tin Tower? Not really. What other... Oh, Snowbear wanted me to do Union Cave. I can do that, I suppose. Okay. Union Cave movement. Let me run off my repel. Usually you're going to be using 2 basic repels when you first pass through Union, but we're just going to use 1 super repel because Sieb's buying 2. Okay, so when you enter a cave, can't get in, same with Alex Forest, caves and Alex Forest, you can't get an encounter on the festival tile, so we go up and left, repel on this tile. That way we don't get an encounter when we go in to Union Cave. Collect this item. I've already done that. Now, there's no difference going above or below this trainer. You have to wait for him either way. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Bonk, bonk, bonk. I'm going to have to do this again. Union's pretty straightforward. Alright. I know what there's not really much to talk about in Union. I'm pretty sure everyone already does this optimally already. Really the only thing is making sure that you actually go up when you enter first, before like just directly turning left. How much else you can screw up in here? You do not have to stop for that trainer on the second pass. Just go straight past him. Union, so yeah, Union's pretty basic. Union basement will do, why not? Enter from this direction, which you almost always will be. You want to maximize the steps on the bike, so talk to the water from that tile. Now we go to the bottom tile here, because this is what happens if you don't. You get a buy trainer. When you talk to that item ball, you want to take 1 step down, rather than so you avoid bonking into the item ball. Is really the only relevant thing here. Alright. that's pretty much all of Union. Alright, so action movement here is like this. And pick up the item ball from that side. That way you did not bonk. Any other areas we should do, or should I call it there? Yeah, some Pokemon fan asked for National Park, so I guess I'll do that. There's not a lot to talk about in National Park, but I guess I could talk about Route 34 movement here. So let's just assume we're coming out of Whitney's gym. Do I have a repel on? Probably, yeah. Alright, let's assume we're coming out of Whitney's gym. And going up here. Collecting Kenya. Going up. Okay, so we take one step to the right here to deload this trainer. Which then lets you pass him. So you can take this step anywhere. So you can take one step there. You can do this movement. It's a bit trickier, but basically you want to go onto this tile to deload that rotator, and then you just bike right past him. Doesn't matter if you mess up anywhere prior, as long as basically you're on this tile and you've deloaded this spinner, you can fucking bonk all you want and you can still bike right past him. And by doing that movement, so we've got him deloaded here, you just bike straight up, you can't hit those trainers. Pretty simple. This trainer has two tiles of vision. So if you're biking this direction after getting the 34 item, if you bike onto this tile up here, there's zero risk of hitting an optional trainer. So it's good practice, even though usually I'll show you if we go and collect this item, that trainer's deloaded. Oh, I haven't fought this trainer apparently. But I'll do the movement biking back, and you'll see that if you keep going, there's no way you can hit him even if you're on the tile he can see you. But it's good practice to get in just in case. Alright, so let's go collect this. Just to show it off. So collect this item. Bike back. Top tile. You can't see if you walk if you go directly that way, but if you're still worried if you've messed up your movement, you can go onto this tile and then there's absolutely zero chance of him hitting you. So very safe. This is National Park movement. Obviously, you want to take as few walking steps as possible, so we go straight up. We don't diagonally across, because we could do that step on the bike. So we get out on this tile, talk to the lady, and I will save scum, so I will actually do save scum strats here. So after collecting this item, we go up, do not take any steps in the grass, we save on this tile. Collect this item first. This item last. And if they're nothing, we reset to this tile and we go directly right. So that is optimal National Park movement. Pretty simple. Basically, don't bonk in this section is the only tip I can give you. Shouldn't be too difficult to avoid bonking. And that's it. What else can I run through? That's one thing I wanted to time actually. Well, maybe not. It doesn't necessarily have to be timed. But basically, just step it out. Let's see which item it's faster to get in the basement first. Okay. So we're kind of coming from this direction. What the heck? This is on an old ROM, so it doesn't have the basement fix. Pretty sure. Alright. Do that again. Alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tiles to that item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, alright. Yeah, bottom item is faster to get first. Which I'm pretty sure everyone already does that. Just wanted to confirm that everyone's doing that optimally. That is good. Sure. I have done. I'll highlight everything and post it somewhere. So I've done Viridian and Diglett's Cave. I did Mount Mortar, most of Mount Mortar, not all of it. I didn't do like the front 2 ladder items because that's kind of like pretty basic, but I did Meme Islands. I did Route 34 and Union. I did Route 29 and Route 30. I said I did Union, didn't I? National Park. What else have I done? Is that it? I think that's it. I don't know if there's a lot else. Like, I could do Tin Tower, I guess. Maybe I'll just do Tin Tower as the last one I do. If there's any others you want me to do, let me know. I think the first few I did were kind of like the most involved of the lot. Yeah. This is an old ROM. I don't have access. That's fine. We don't have to do Tin Tower. I don't think Lake of Rage is really relevant. It's basically just don't bonk. There's nothing really. I could do Ice Path movement. Yeah, I'll do Ice Path. I'll do Ice Path. Why not? That's not where we go for Ice Path. Okay, let's just talk through 44 and Ice Path here. Do I have a repel on? I probably do. No, I was doing National Park right now. I don't have a repel. Alright, so let's assume. Fuck, why is it dark? That's fine. Alright, 44 and Ice Path movement. Let's do a run through. Okay, so my cursor's on repels. So we bonk into that item. If you pick it up, then you would take a step up to kill the turn frame and then go right. If you can't fit it in your bag, obviously you just go right. You do not talk to the water here. You talk to it here to maximize your biking steps. Take a step right, kill a turn frame, up we go. Take a step up here. We do not go right first. So we go up and right. So we don't get a turn frame. Lol. Everyone knows how to do the waterfall item, so there's no point in me doing that. That's okay. Okay, so we enter this ladder from the bottom. Do not do this movement. I've never seen anyone do it, but in case you've considered doing it, do not. We go up first tile on this floor so we don't get a turn frame. So let's do this again. We go up, no turn frame. We do this blah 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 stuff. Everyone knows how to do the ice path. Puzzle. Up. Bump into this item. If you pick the item up, you go straight down so you don't get a turn frame. Enter the ladder from this side. And we keep going right. Now you'd have rock smash usually. But we don't on this save file, so that's fine. Enter the ladder from this direction, we keep going up. No turn frame. Load the ladder. That's wouldn't really work with no item there, does it? And this is really the only room that's kind of relevant. So we enter this ladder, we go up one tile, kill the turn frame, collect that item. So it's really just making sure that ice path's pretty simple. You just make sure you don't get turn frames when you enter new rooms. That's pretty much all you have to do in ice path. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. Guess I could do 45 movement. 45 is pretty straightforward too. Let me get my repel one off. Okay, so this is 45. Collect this item by bonking. You don't bonk there. That's what you do not do. Let's go back to 45. Right. Take 2 of 45 movement. 1 repel gets you all the way down. I don't know, there's not much to talk about around 45 movement. That's the path. There's not really any optimizations, it's just the least steps you can take for all items. I have one more place that I can do. And that is this section. So if you're going to Victory Road, from here, bike straight down, bottom tile, maximize your steps on the bike, surf across. Now it does not matter which tile you land here, because if you land on the first tile, that man will walk 1 extra tile, versus if you go here, he walks 1 less tile. Doesn't matter. Collect this item. We all know how to do that. Collect that item. We all know how to do that. It's pretty basic. Maximize your steps on land. Biking. Minimum steps in the water. Go up the waterfall. Now, you can do this movement to frame perfectly past this spinner, but it's difficult and I hate it. But we'll do it anyway. And that's why you don't do it. Because you fuck it up. It is not. Assuming save scumming is 7 seconds, it is not faster. That's okay. This is why I don't do this movement, but this is how you should do this. Fucking hell. That's why I don't do it. Honestly, just wait for this trainer. Like, fuck this movement. Alright, I'm gonna save for it. Okay, so optimal movement here is down, tile before the door, and you frame perfectly past that trainer. That is what you should do. But, fuck that. Yeah, so on that last tree, we enter the water. We go back on land below this trainer. Surf these 2 tiles of water. We go 1 tile over, go up. You can go below that trainer or above. Don't need to go all the way to the wall. And that's that. Pretty much. Easy as that. Except for the stupid spinner pass, but no one wants to do that anyway. Alright. I don't think there's much else that I can really go through. That's pretty much it. So I just end the stream there. I'm going to go through and highlight some VODs. And maybe put a playlist together or something. Hopefully it's useful. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.